Hello. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I've got just a quick video for you today. Hopefully, I want to share my SOP process with you all. An SOP, or a standard operating procedure, is essentially just a list or a tutorial of how you do the different things that you do in your business. And SOPs are really important for a couple of reasons. First, if you ever plan to hire anyone, which I know some of you might be thinking, I am not there yet. But if you plan to hire anyone in the future, these will come really handy. You can hand them a list of SOPs and they can kind of study on their own. It's really going to take away the amount of time that you need to dedicate personally to training, although that's important as well, but that's a whole other tangent. The other thing is it's important so you know what you're doing because, being an online business owner, a freelancer, there are so many different hats that we wear. So sometimes I completely forget what I'm supposed to be doing, what font I'm supposed to be using in an email, or what process I need to follow. So my recommendation is as soon as you develop a process for something, as soon as you're like, okay, this is the template that we're using, or this is the, font or the workflow that we use for this email sequence or whatever it might be, just write down a simple list in a Google Doc. It does not have to be anything fancy at all. You can clean it up, jazz it up, and turn it into what I'm about to show you in due time, but just write it down so you have it handy. So if you do need to delegate it, or if you do need to remind yourself of what you're doing, it's there. All right, here we go. So I just have a Google Drive and I have a folder within my drive called SOPs, or standard operating procedures. And then from here, I also have them broken up by function. So I have a video folder. So I talk through how to upload all the YouTube videos, how to create the thumbnails, how to do all those kinds of things, the membership group, the courses, social media, and email. There's probably other things that need to be created. This is why I'm actually making this video, because I'm going through at the beginning of every year. I like to update these. It's just a good reminder to do that in January. So then from here, you can just share this SOP folder with your team, or you can share individual folders or files that individual contractors or people might need. So I'll go ahead and show you one that I was just working on in the courses folder. It's called approving reviews. So this is what it looks like, just a simple Google Doc. It's really nothing too fancy. A couple things that maybe make my SOPs different is I really like to add a purpose to the top of the document, because I think it's really important for you, yourself, or for your team, if you're delegating this, for people to know why you're doing these different things. It makes it feel a lot less like busy work and helps your team really care about the project or the tasks that they're completing. So for example, I'm sharing, each week new course reviews should be approved to, one, address potential client concerns. So we care about our customers. Two, contribute social proof to the course website to help us sell more courses. And three, help inform our strategy for future courses and content. If we start to see really common themes come up in our reviews, okay, maybe that's something that we need to work on adding or addressing in content, and so on and so forth. I also like to put a timeline in my SOPs if it is something that's maybe time sensitive or that needs to be done on a certain frequency. So timing is flexible. It doesn't need to be done on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. It doesn't matter the day, but let's just be sure to do this at least once per week. So when I share this document with my operations manager who owns this task, she can just say, great, I'm going to put this on my calendar as a reoccurring calendar invite for whatever day works best for her. I don't care what day it's done. It just needs to be done. Then I go into just a simple how-to, just a basic checklist, and you just really break it down step by step. You're going to start by heading to the reviews tab on Thinkific, and this is a hyperlink. So as long as they're signed in, it'll bring them right there. And then I also explain how to get there. So just in case this link gets broken or, something happens, they know how to actually get there. And then I add checkboxes, which you can do through formats, bullets and numbering, and then you can add a checkbox, which is nice because when somebody's going through the Google Doc, they can actually check things off as they go through it, if that's helpful. Some people are more visual in that way. Or if they wanted to print this off and keep like a little SOP binder for themselves, that works too. So click see reviews for each course. And then I add a screenshot as well. So I'm taking a screenshot. I add these arrows just by using Canva. I pop the screenshot into Canva and just click on elements and add a really quick little arrow to point out the different areas that I am discussing. And then you just go through step by step. I don't really have to read all of these to you. It's quite simple, but I think that illustrates the point here for the most part. Then the next step, they're going to open up a Canva template. So again, I have this linked so it's really easy for them, and then they'll download it and add it to a social content folder. I actually need to link this, that this is a folder I haven't created yet. So that will be linked as well. Lastly, one of my secret tools to make this really work is Vidyard. I've talked about Vidyard before. I think I actually did a whole video on Vidyard. I'll link that if you want more info on it. But it's super easy to create these little browser-based videos. And I just walk through the process of doing this. This is like a, 3-minute video. Let's mute myself. It's like a 3-minute video. So super easy. I just created it right here and actually showed them the entire process. So again, if you're hiring somebody and you don't have all the time in the world, if you're a freelancer, this is your first hire, you can't spend, your entire job training people. So some of these things, they're very task-based. They don't really need that hand-holding. This is super easy to train someone via a Vidyard video in 3 minutes. So I really love using that tool. Again, just appealing to different learning types too. Some people really prefer written words. Some people prefer listening. Some people prefer viewing. So we kind of have all of our bases covered there. Now, the next thing I'll show you real quick here, you all probably know that I love Asana. I have some Asana videos as well that I'll also link up here if you want to check those out. But I also have kind of like an admin file in Asana that kind of acts hand in hand with my SOPs. So as you can see here, this is just like templates and things of that nature. So I have a James and Park folder. That's the name of my business. And I add all of my team members to this folder, or this board, I guess it's called in Asana. And I just list out different columns for templates. These are things that we reach for all the time. So there's a social media audit template, a content calendar, strategy doc, proposal template, client card. Client cards are what we use to kind of share what their goals are and what they do exactly. This has been super helpful. If I'm onboarding somebody new to the team, I can just say, okay, the client's name is Latasha James, latashajames.com. Latasha and Megan are managing the account. They're here for strategy and community management. They have a big launch coming up next week, and notes about them. We meet with them once a week or something like that. Just a quick at a glance so that my whole team, can easily scan through this and get acclimated with what's going on in the business, again, without having to have me completely handhold for everything. Again, SOPs and Asana doesn't make up for human interaction and human training, but it is nice that they can kind of get digging in before we officially meet. We do have a login in here, which this should not be in here because we actually use a tool called 1Password now. So I'm going to delete that in a second. So yeah, that's something else that you may choose to do. You can also add your SOPs in here. So if I wanted to, I could add an SOPs column and just start dropping these documents in here. What's nice about Asana is they actually have a Google Drive integration. So I can just click a couple buttons and then the Google Drive is listed right there. So if that's something that you choose to do, if you all really live in Asana, that can be a nice way to kind of keep everything really organized as well. All right, so that's it. That's how I organize my SOPs, how I help keep my team all together. And last thing I want to say about SOPs are I always talk about this thing called the peanut butter and jelly exercise. I feel like a lot of people don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I was the only one who learned this, but back in school, this was probably second grade or something. I remember we had to do this, and my teacher said, write out the steps of writing a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, step by step by step. And that is exactly what you want to think about when you are writing out your SOPs. It should be so easy that like a second grader or fourth grader, could follow the instructions that you were giving. So even if you're adding little lines that you're like, is that necessary? Do they need to know that they need to expand the screen before taking the screenshot and things like that? Just write it anyway. It doesn't hurt. More information is always better. And people will be grateful that you told them rather than assumed that they know things that they don't know. So that's it for today's video. I hope it was helpful for you. I'll be back next week with a more interesting video. I know I've been giving you these kind of webcam videos. I'm sorry about that. But these were videos that I've been meaning to get out that are just kind of quick and dirty. And I hope you enjoy them. So I'll talk to you on Friday for a new podcast and Monday for a more fun and creative video. I'll see you then. Bye.